See that? I burnt up part of my DeWalt planer. Actually, that is the jumper line that goes from the switch, the main switch, over to the breaker. And I was wondering why my breaker was jumping or kicking off all the time. And when I ordered 2 more new ones. I've already placed the breaker in this once, and that's when I noticed that this had actually melted. I don't know whether you can see this. I'll try to zero in here. It's wanting to zero in on everything but that. Come here in the shade. So what it did, you can see there, it melted the covering right off of it. This one here, it even melted where it attaches. This part got so hot it melted. So what was happening, as this melted, the line started to break, and as they break, the resistance got greater, and it just started melting this whole thing. So I've got to get another one of these. But in the meantime, when I went to replace that, I put it on the old switch that was on there, the red switch. Come over here to the building. While I'm doing that, I'll say welcome back to the Tennessee Frugal Craftsman. It's been one of those days again. I'll explain a little bit more in a minute here. But here's the normal switch that's on it, and you can see that this terminal melted off. Sorry, set that down there so you can see it. There's the terminal, and it melted. We tried to solder it back on, but there was just no way that was going to hold. And so this one, the terminal has 4 terminals on it, and when I put that new line on, I was just showing you, this broke right off. So I had to order another one of these. That switch was like $45, which is just ridiculous. Should be about 5, no more than 10. That's one of those things. Now, back over here. In all fairness, this planer does not owe me anything, because as my friend always has been saying, that planer has 1,000,000 miles on it, because it has planed a lot of lumber. Now it's still got a fair amount to plane as far as for my cabinets and some of my trim, which I am working on right now. I just did finish that one last week, and I'm working on the 16-foot material here, which was that pile over there, and I'm about halfway or so through that. But I was shut down, and I just happened to have a switch here. I'll kind of zero in on it. You can see high and low speed. This was actually off one of my kids' one of those electric vehicles that they have. The kids get in and drive around, and it was a 6 terminal. And so what I did is I took and used the top 2 terminals just so it was on high speed. So instead of this, going to a low speed, it just goes on and off. So for now, I've got it running, and I've got the parts ordered. The switch is supposed to be in, like I said, tomorrow. And for this here, I actually used a piece of house wire, 14-2, and put 2 new ends on it, about the same length, and just looped it from the breaker around over onto this terminal here. So that old breaker that I thought was gone is actually working fine. What was causing it to switch to flip off all the time was this particular wire. So just a note to those who are using your planer a lot, that can happen. Now, again, in all fairness, I've been running this on a generator for months now. That is what I normally do here when I don't have any electrical, so I've been running on a generator. So I'm sure that's not ideal. It's pulling, the power wouldn't be as consistent, I'm guessing, based upon, because the thing, you can hear it groan a little when you're putting a bigger piece through. But I try to only take maximum 1/16 inch at a time, 32nd. But I mean, it has plain stacks and stacks. Sorry, I'm zeroing in here. Stacks and stacks and stacks of lumber all the way around here. I've been using this, and you got to think about every one of those pieces of wood. I have about 40,000 board feet. Every one goes through that planer. Some of them is upwards of 3 to 4 times by the time you flip it back and forth and get it to the thickness. So it has seen a lot of material through it. And so I can't really complain about that. The only thing that I wish is they had a little bit easier access to get in to change this stuff out. It takes maybe 5 minutes to take all the screws out. I've done it so many times now. But if you're ever taking these apart, this is a 737, I think it is. Yeah, 735, DW 735. You have these 2 screws, that one and that one. Then you have that holds on the little toggle switch for fast and low, high feed rate. And then you have to take this little plate off. There's 3 screws there. And then in behind it is another screw. And then you take the top off, and there's 3 more screws holding this faceplate on. So they've got lots of screws holding it on. And it's just one of those things. So if you're, like I said, I swear by that planer. It has done its job and then some. And so hats off to the DeWalt people on that 13-inch planer. But yeah, the electrical wires, they got hot. And like I said, when it got hot, when that little jumper line got hot and started to melt, what it did is it started to, the fire flame leaped over and started melting where it feeds out of the switch to the main motor. And that's what started that going, and of course it got hot, and then it made that little terminal weak. Matter of fact, last night when I was running it, before the switch actually gave out on me, I turned it on and I saw flame, and I stopped, and I could see flame in behind the switch. So I stopped it, and that's exactly what had happened. So anyway, if you're looking for a great planer, that is it. If you're looking for planing a lot of lumber cheaply, this was what, $700. Still good value for your money. You just need to make sure that if you're getting one, I would suggest going ahead, if you're going to do a lot of planing, buy an extra couple breakers for it, buy a couple extra sets of brushes for it. I've gone through a couple sets of brushes, and a switch. So those are the types of things that are going to go on these things. And so, see, my battery is flashing, so until next time, I hope you have a great day. And if you would, please like and subscribe. Until next time, as we say in Canada, keep your stick on the ice. No, have a wonderful day. And again, thanks for joining me. I am hoping by the end of the week to have a laid out septic field. Till then, see you next time.